number one indie octopuses podcast.
We're entering our flop era.
Shit's bleak out here. All right.
18 plus, who wants to get milked?
It's kind of quality we have here. Debate this.
I need the edge. I need what the raw, unfiltered internet can bring you.
This is probably only going to be the third or fourth dumbest thing I've said today.
That's for nobody.
Just out there raw dogging the internet.
Way more hog than I expected.
It's about as much hog as I anticipated.
This is going to be one of those episodes, isn't it?
Here comes the cow. Here comes the cow.
All right, let's get this over with so we can play Magic. Hello and welcome to Debate This, the show where no one is right, but someone is definitely wrong. In this show, we take time out of our busy adult lives to talk about comic books, video games, and how Monster Hunter Wilds might be Game of the Year, but only for me and the other Monster Hunter freaks that also have high-performance PCs.
Hey, I'm just glad they finally made a PS5 game that needs the PS5 to run.
Yeah,
Hey, that's a
for
good,
real.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That's one of the first. Well, speaking of things that are bad, guys, I have bad news.
What a segue.
That was a segue. It's one of the segues of all time, in fact.
Specifically the PS5 and not Monster Hunter Wilds, which is very
This
good.
is the first bit of bad news we've had all year, Andrew. Oh my God.
It's been
a pretty
blue
pretty chill
skies
year.
and sunny days up until this.
Everything's
Yeah.
coming up Millhouse in 2025.
Now, as we all here know at Debate This, the economy, she's a vindictive mistress, and she comes for all of us one day. And unfortunately, the latest casualty is the Shut Up Todd pet store, which you might remember all the way back from episode 32. Please stop trying to domesticate my nearsighted son.
Oh no, my pet store.
Yeah, well, yes. So after a wonderful 6 years, the Shut Up Todd pet store is on the verge of shutting down. 6 happy years of selling human pets and other video game characters that are somewhat sentient, but definitely not human. Now, we have one more possibility. And you guys may remember all the way back in episode 77, because we've hit that point in the show where we just reference ourselves now. We saw some success when we briefly sold Monster Hunter Monsters, capitalizing on the success in the release of Monster Hunter Rise. Yes, that was 4 years ago. Ouch.
I was
My
going to say,
God.
to our credit, that was almost 100 episodes ago.
Yeah. Well, 100 episodes later, a new Monster Hunter has just come out as of the time of this recording. So I'm thinking it's time we go back to mine this well dry of its light crystal and carbolite ore. What do you say?
The one thing I do want to say, because also I don't care about Monster Hunter. No one does except for you, Andrew, but we're happy for you.
Yeah.
Is
My friends that I've chosen.
there is no chance we haven't started an episode with the phrase, well, unfortunately, I have bad news. The economy is a vindictive mistress. There's no chance we haven't said that before.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Real question. Is Monster Hunter Rise actually the first Monster Hunter game to come out since we did a Monster Hunter episode?
There's been DLC.
Monster Hunter
Yes.
Wilds is the
Monster
game
Hunter-
that
Wilds.
came
I
out.
keep
Yeah,
fucking
you
that up. I don't
recently.
know why.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Monster Hunter Rise came out in 2025. Monster Hunter Wilds came out in 2025. Rise came
you
out in
did it too.
2021. That's the one. I did it. Rise came out in 2021. That was the one for the Switch that we all bought, and then you guys dropped like a bad habit in 3 days.
I tried, Andrew.
Matt didn't try, but the other two of you
I
gave
tried.
it.
I tried on Twitch with you. It happened.
So that's
we
right.
were all
we
there.
all gave it the Diablo 3 treatment.
Yeah.
You know what? Look, I liked Monster Hunter Rise more than Diablo 3. I'll give you that.
Hey,
I wouldn't have called
I'll take
that.
it. Well, let me introduce you officially, dear listener, to my crack team of expert zoologists specifically focused on exotic fantasy creature sales that will help save the shop. Joining me today are Todd, seething basil geese Thomas, Matt, breeding season hypnocatrice Cole, and Kyle, chaotic Gormagala Harper.
Basil geese.
No, the last one's Mechanal. It's the one I always screw up.
Yeah.
Basil geese has. It's not spelled the way I thought it would.
It's spelled like the planet or like the star.
Sure.
What?
Not.
No, that's
That's
Beetlejuice.
That's Beetlejuice.
That's
yeah.
Beetlejuice.
And we
Yeah,
said it
Basil
3
Geese
times,
is-
so he's here now.
He's oh no.
There goes my closer.
No, Basil Geese. Yeah, I don't know why it's spelled that way. I don't know why it's pronounced that way, but it is and it is.
Is it a giant, terrifying
Basil
goose?
Geese is the guy who gives Austin Powers his missions in the 883 universe.
it? Wow.
Matt,
Mad.
That's very good.
Hell yeah, bro.
Do you think Capcom is kicking themselves for not branding their monsters in some other way than like making us just refer to them as monsters every time? Do you wish they came up with like a Pokemon type name for their creatures?
I think anyone who's ever even played or even seen footage of the original Monster Hunter, I don't think anyone would have expected that it would have franchised out from there, because that game is such a mess.
was the original
horrible
in the
experience.
PSP?
PS2.
Okay.
Yeah. The original is such a horrible experience that it wasn't until the PSP game that it really like became a thing.
Gotcha.
Basil Geese is a griffin that has exploding like scales.
I was close.
It flies across the map and drops its scales like bombs.
Awesome.
Yeah, it rules. These are all monsters. These are all specifically, so when Monster Hunter comes out with like regular updates, they do like big scary variations. So these are all variants of regular monsters. So that's what the
Got it.
Breeding season hypnocatrice is something I feel like I've had to wipe off my computer before.
yeah. I mean, it's a male hypnocatrice that's very aggressive.
That face Todd is
fun.
making is
I didn't
very worth that joke.
I didn't know what to do with what you said.
So wait,
glad.
hold on. A breeding season hypnocatrice is just a regular hypnocatrice during breeding season.
That's correct.
It's not like, okay.
It's a
not
horned
really
up
variant.
hypnocatrice, yeah.
It's a horned
Yeah.
up hypnocatrice. Yeah.
We've talked a lot
Horned
about
up catrice.
hypnocatrice here today.
Well, guys, just like any good Monster Hunter game worth its salt, we need a headlining monster that's going to get people back to SUTPS and participate in the commerce. So please introduce the Monster Hunter monster that you've brought today and tell me why they should be the face of this new initiative that's going to drive people into the store. We'll start with you, Todd.
Yeah, for sure. So last time we did this, I proposed everyone's favorite burrowing choo-choo dragon Bareth as like this ideal, pet to take home to your suburban cul-de-sac. He was big. He was dumpy. Gonna pause for a second. My grandma's dog is burrowing on the floor.
He's choo-chooing in his own way.
He's choo-chooing. I'm gonna just like
After
give me one.
the word grandma left Todd's mouth, I didn't know where that sentence was going.
Man, I can't wait to put that clip in next season.
Let's take that clean again. Last time we did this, I proposed everyone's favorite burrowing choo-choo dragon Bareth. Remember that guy? He was just like an ideal pet.
Yeah.
Fuck, you're killing me, dog.
Todd recording live from the Shut Up Todd Pet Store.
It's an ASMR pet store recording. All right, one more time.
Leave this all in.
Oh, it's staying.
Last time we did this, I proposed everyone's favorite burrowing choo-choo dragon, Bareth. And if you remember him, he was this ideal pet to take home to your suburban cul-de-sac. He was big, he was dumpy, he was lovable, he made choo-choo noises. Really just like a golden retriever of a siege monster was kind of like what I sold here. And this time I wanted to go with something a bit more dignified, something more cranial. So obviously I'm talking about our new friend, New Udra, aka the Black Flame.
New Udra, just like the old Udra.
Yeah.
Meet the new Udra, same as the old Udra. Yeah, that's where I was
You
going.
got it. We did it. So who is New Udra? Thanks for asking, everyone. For those unfamiliar with your new best friend, New Udra, aka the Black Flame, is a gigantic octopus-like land-faring cephalopod with the ability to light its tentacled body aflame as a defensive maneuver. Or maybe a neat party trick, So why should New Udra be the face of the Save the Shut Up Todd Pet Store campaign? That's pretty easy. Octopuses are often speculated to be online I saw octopuses a lot.
It's both are correct.
Both are correct.
Well,
yeah.
I'm sorry for correcting you.
I think actually
That's okay.
it's like octopuses is more correct and octopi is allowed to be correct because so many people use
because
it.
it has been.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I typed in octopi and all the answers I got back were octopuses. And so here we are.
Fair enough. Okay.
Debate This is an educational podcast.
Yeah. Never say you didn't learn anything.
Number one indie octopuses podcast. So it is speculated that octopuses are some of, if not the smartest creatures on Earth. So add to the fact that kaiju versions of other creatures are canonically smarter than their smaller pre-evolutionary counterparts. My sources being Godzilla, King Kong, and Mothra. All of them smarter than their smaller pre-evolution versions.
I don't know that those second two.
You've done the math on that, Todd?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Have you held the
tell me-
flashcards for
Okay.
Godzilla to run through? And
I'll take Godzilla. I think Mothra's an idiot god.
Mothra is absolutely an idiot god.
Okay, point counterpoint. The last movie Mothra was in, Mothra knew how to do defensive maneuvers, offensive maneuvers, and bring Godzilla back to life from the death. Does the normal run-of-the-mill moon moth do that for you?
Well, I've never asked.
This is a normal run-of-the-mill moon moth.
moths do dodge when I try and swat them, yes.
Yeah,
You know what?
I don't know if you've tried to hit a moth lately.
And they do have necromancer powers, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? This is all pretty valid. I'll take it back to R&D. The point is to say that it's not that much of a stretch, even with what we've just said, that New Udra may be the smartest mammal to ever exist. Period. Yes,
Sure,
New
man.
Udra.
Whoa.
Yes, New Udra is technically a pet, but in reality, New Udra will really be your new best friend. And also, it looks dope as shit. It's an octopus that is on fire with spikes on its tentacles.
Did you call it a mammal?
He did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
don't-
did,
it's a
and I didn't mean
cephalopod.
that. It is a cephalopod. I know I
Yeah.
said that earlier. You know what? We don't know if New Udra lays live babies. We don't know.
That's not the defining characteristic of a mammal, actually.
It
Because
is
a platypus,
defining
a platypus is a
characteristic.
mammal. It's
Have we
mammary
dovetailed into talking tungsten?
It's mammary glands. Mammary glands
it?
make mammals.
Well, we don't know if New Udra has those either. So the science is still out. We know that it is dope as shit. It's covered in spikes. It can set itself on fire. And I think you can use its skin to make some cool boots.
Yeah,
New
checks
boot
out.
goofing.
New boot Udra.
Nudra boot goofing. Okay.
That's what I have to say.
Yeah.
The Black Flame is also a rad nickname for a monster.
Look, real talk. Nudra is like one of my favorite monsters from the new game. So yeah, I think it's dope.
Great.
Matt, what you got?
Yeah, Andrew, I think it's clear why stonks have been down in the Shut Up Todd pet store. After all these years of bringing video game pets to people, the people are tired of new things. Change is scary, and consumers yearn for a return to simpler times. That's why we're so excited to introduce our choice as the face of the initiative to save the Shut Up Todd pet store, Hermitar. It's a hermit crab. We've all had hermit crabs. Everybody gets a hermit crab. When you're in 7th grade, the whole class, they get 100 hermit crabs, and then they send you home with 2 of them. Because if you only take 1 hermit crab, it'll get sad. So, Hermitar. It's a big old hermit crab with a big old skull on its back. And look, we've got a lot of varieties of Hermitar here at the Shut Up Todd pet store. And we're really excited because we're going to be able to give so many people exactly what they want because of that variety. If you want a garden variety, normal, dug its ass out of the dirt kind of Hermitar, you can get that. Or if you want to spend the buku bucks and ride off with something nice, grab yourself the Zenith Daimyo Hermitar, the coolest of all of the Hermitars. That's what we are hitching our proverbial wagon to save the Shut Up Todd pet store. Again, something that everyone's really comfortable with. Everybody's had a hermit crab. You remember you got one for free from a 7th grade teacher who didn't want to throw them in the trash can.
Can we stop real quick?
Yeah, this is a very specific life experience that you
Yeah,
had.
I do want to, not that we can't do post show.
Your school, your class in 7th grade gave everyone 2 hermit crabs?
Yeah, what
not,
kind of
not one
fancy
hermit crab
pants?
for the whole class just to
This is
kind of
blowing my mind that
look
this isn't
at?
an everybody thing. I
Yeah,
swear
but
to
No,
God.
it's
fact
not
that
an
you're-
everybody thing.
Yeah, the fact that
Whoa.
your teacher went and bought a Costco pallet of hermit
Yeah.
crabs and then divvied them up Moses or Noah's Ark style.
Moses
Moses Ark
Moses
style.
style.
Parted the hermit crab sea 2 by 2.
Is this what middle school was post 9/11? Is that what?
We had one
okay,
hermit crab at the daycare I went to before and after school, so that when it died, they could swap it out at night, and none of the kids would find out.
Yeah, and my sister and I had hermit crabs that I would say we bought at Virginia Beach, but in reality, I realized that it's some person was just selling hermit crabs out of a too small aquarium. And I'm also wondering, how do 100 hermit crabs
That was last
become
episode.
become localized to Pennsylvania in this frequency.
They buy them in Myrtle Beach from a guy.
Yeah,
I'm honestly really surprised. I think that I missed the year. I think this was like 5th or 6th grade. But every year they would do for the science class, like they would get a big ass tank of like the little tiny frogs.
They made you dissect hermit crabs? That's horrible.
No, not that. That's too big a frog. I'm thinking like thumbnail sized frogs. There'd be like a big ass tank of frogs and a big ass tank of hermit crabs, and you'd hard quotes observe them for a couple of weeks. And then at the end of the unit, every kid got to take home either 2 frogs or 2 hermit crabs, and they died in like a week and a half because they have a life expectancy of a month when they've been shipped 6 times across the country.
Yikes.
Oh,
It wasn't like just my school district. Like a lot of kids in my area of Western Pennsylvania did this, but apparently not you guys.
not in my area of Western Pennsylvania.
Crazy.
Nope.
Honestly, mind blowing. And
Western
not.
Pennsylvania is just different Northwest Ohio, and I didn't have this experience.
This is not at all where I expected to run into some issues with my answer today. It wasn't.
It was not
wasn't
the
awesome,
universal experience of your school giving you 2 living
hermit
animals
crabs.
to keep.
It was. I mean, it was the same way as like, every summer you can get a goldfish at the county fair. And in 5th grade, you either get 2 hermit crabs or 2 frogs.
No, Matt, this is the same energy as the time I brought up milk pouches, and all of you guys looked at me like I was insane.
I did.
know what
I
those
did milk
are.
pouches.
Yeah, no,
I didn't do milk
also-
pouches.
Okay.
You're trying to victimize yourself. We were all in with you on milk pouches, except
You
for
weren't.
Matt, apparently.
Check the tapes.
Okay, anyway. Have you guys did you own hermit crabs at some point?
No, I had milk
I had
pouches. I
one.
never had a hermit crab.
I did not have a hermit crab.
I do kind of
Andrew
feel
went
like
to the school where in 7th grade they had 100 milk pouches, and you took 2 milk pouches home
Because
to
they would
care
get
for a
lonely.
year.
Yeah, because you can't take one.
good lord. Okay, well, in my world here today at the Shut Up Todd Pet Store, everybody's had a fucking hermit crab, and that's why we're
Great.
going to talk about Hermitar. Great.
Great.
On to Kyle.
Kyle, what is your answer and any associated background that we need?
No, Andrew, no non-universal childhood experience is necessary for this one. No, the way I'm going to save the Shut Up Todd Pet Store is by doing what makes sense, selling the most popular thing.
What a bold statement.
The best-selling car up until this year in America was the Ford F-150, and we are going to copy that play here by selling the Monster Hunter monster version of the Ford F-150, I guess. The Guardian Fulgar Anginath.
Do you want to take that clean?
Nope, I'm happy with that.
All right.
The Guardian Fulgar Anginath is it's an electric monster. It's got wings. It's got power, Andrew, and that's what America wants. And that's why we're gonna make it the flagship monster of the Shut Up Todd Pet Store.
Yeah, man.
Awesome, actually.
That's great. Kyle, have you watched any videos of Anginath or specifically the Fulgur answer now?
I have watched videos of
Okay.
some Anginath. I put Guardian Fulgur in the search when I did that, so I assume that's what Google showed me. But I have
Is
no.
it the electric T-Rex?
Yeah, it's the electric
it's
T-Rex, Todd.
I watched him, what I can only call body slam
Yep.
the hell out of another creature, and it was
Yep.
dope.
And tell me that's not exactly what the Ford F-150 of monsters would do, Todd.
If I may help your argument just a bit, Kyle, when it charges, it actually makes a train noise.
Oh, we love that.
Hell yeah, it does.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, man, this is great. These are all really good answers. I'm in. So we got our headliners. Great. We've got the draw. Getting people physically in the store is one thing, but we've also got to close these deals, and we got to close them fast. So now that you've highlighted your monster, give me that killer, no pun intended, pitch that is going to ensure each shopper rides off the lot with a horrifying, bloodthirsty, murderous beast of their own.
Can't believe you got that in one try. That was great. So New
Perfect.
Udra offers a bit of everything, kind of the Swiss Army knife of giant bloodthirsty pets. So any person looking to expand their family by bringing in a new pet, New Udra is gonna scratch that itch. Think about it. For a typical idiot guy in a tap out t-shirt who wants a tough pet, octopus with spikes and on fire. It's a sometimes on fire octopus. You can't beat that. For a family maybe trying to teach like responsibility to a kid, but wants like a pet that's a bit more resilient, this is a semi-intelligent pet that will just be more capable of indicating what its needs are by attempting to reach for food or other enrichment items. Hey, if you got a member of the family that's a fan of the occult, this is the closest thing to Cthulhu you could possibly find. It is just there. It is goopy. It's in your face. For the cost-conscious family in 2025, New Udra can both release oil at will and is a natural heating source. So just imagine what that could do to your heating bills and just overall income, as you now have an environmentally safe way to generate fossil fuels, which is not a thing any other pet can do. And most importantly, for anyone seeking affection from a pet, what better way than to find it in an 8-armed embrace of your new best friend? Just more simply put here, any monster can be a pet, but New Udra can be a crucial member of the family.
8-Armed Embrace is my favorite post-hardcore band.
Yeah, very
Not your favorite new Udra metal band?
Oh, that's good.
Good. Kyle. Kyle, come on.
That joke was there to be made, and I wasn't going to make it, so I'm glad you
good.
did.
Since I saw the words New Udra on my screen, I've been
Sure.
Yeah.
working the new metal angle here, and
Yeah.
it won't be the last time.
Yeah, no, I sure. I like it. He's a terrifying cephalopod and he's friend-shaped. Sure.
He is friend-shaped. I want to be clear. Don't look at the picture. He is friend-shaped.
Yeah.
Now, what if I looked at the picture?
And you disagree with what I said. But
Not
you're
so
not
sure
going to
it's
say that on air
friend-shaped.
because we're friends.
Todd, what do I do if I don't want to heat my house because it's summer and I now have a flaming octopus in my house?
So New Udra does control when it is or is not on fire. It's not always on fire.
But it's in control of
think
when
that's
it's on
anything.
fire, not me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, okay, it's like having a Charizard. Like, tell it to not do flamethrower. If you've trained your Charizard correctly and it's not powered leveled over your trainer level, you're fine.
I can put a Charizard in a Pokeball. This is not an argument thread we need to go down right now, but
How big a Pokeball you got?
I don't
They're
know
all
if,
the same size.
I don't know if that technology
That's how
works.
Pokeballs work. Pretty famously.
Yeah, they shift in size. Yeah, it's not important. The point being is it's not always on fire.
Okay.
Just like
Not
your
always on fire.
Ford 150 isn't always spouting lightning out of its maw at all times uncontrollably.
I didn't sell it as a feature to warm my house.
That's true. That's
Not
fair
yet,
point.
You haven't.
Matt.
Yeah, Andrew, to really understand the pitch of the Hermitar, I think we need to go back in time a little bit and talk about the history of the phrase sport utility vehicle. See,
Sure.
I missed a memo, apparently, at some point in this.
the abbreviation SUV has actually been around since the 1930s. In the first two Great Wars, SUV actually stood for service utility vehicle. And then as those vehicles and those makes and models started to come back from the war and be reconstructed for consumer markets, they went from service utility vehicles to suburban utility vehicles. And that was okay, but folks realized that honestly, suburban utility vehicle, service utility vehicle, it's just not all that catchy. It's not all that attractive. It doesn't really bring in purchasers and thus,
Doesn't make dads want to buy them.
exactly. In the 1970s, enter sports. Now, when it comes to cars,
When they invented sports.
when it comes to cars, what does sports mean? Nobody knows. It doesn't matter. SUV now stands for sports utility vehicle. What defines a sports utility vehicle? No one knows. It doesn't matter.
You can fit hockey gear in it.
Yeah, that's always what I thought as a kid. It just because it means it can haul sports equipment.
We have an abbreviation and people love it. So you've heard of the SUV, Andrew. Allow me to introduce you to the VUD of the hermitar. VUD.
No, Matt, we're done talking about the breeding season Hypnocatrice.
The VUD, you've got variety, utility, delicacy. The three things you need to know about hermitars. Again, like I said, we've got one for everybody. You want a garden variety out of the dirt hermitar? You can have that. You want a daimyo hermitar? You can have that. You want a stonefist hermitar? You can have that. What about a plum dio hermitar or maybe a gongan hermitar? Well, you can have those too.
He's just naming hermitars.
That's the variety that we have come to offer here at the Shut Up Todd Pet Store. Now let's talk about utility. Andrew, this is a big fucking crab. It's a big crab. And there's a lot of stuff you can do with that. You can haul things with it. You can move things with it.
That's the same thing as hauling.
Most importantly,
you named two things and they're the
same. You can also carry a load with it.
Most importantly, you can use it to dig. It's real good at digging. Dig holes wherever you need it to. Plenty of holes. It's great. It'll burrow. Two, you can use it to
You're saying the same thing again,
Same
Matt.
thing as digging.
Nope. Digging would be like just digging in, and I would think burrowing is like digging but staying under. Not important. We've got the variety.
I don't think you made a big enough distinction between those two, men.
I don't think you're wrong, but what you said isn't right.
Last but not least, let's talk about delicacy. Now, it is important to know that the brains of hermitar are considered to be a delicacy, and
by
not
who?
Just of the by the Monster Hunter wiki. Kyle, shut up. I haven't played these games. People, it's in all of the Pokedex entries for hermitar. I read them all. It all says that their brains are a delicacy.
The subreddit.
No, it says in its brains are said to be a true delicacy. That's for Monster Hunter Freedom 2 or Monster Hunter Rise. Monster Hunter Generations. Their brains are prized as a delicacy. Anyway, all you need to know, you need the brains of this pet. And honestly, we understand that that's probably not for everybody, but we also understand there are people out there who like raise beef cow and they raise chickens for slaughter.
Beef cow.
Okay, look, I'll give you not everybody gets to hermit crabs in fifth grade. But if you are going to look me in the eye right now and say there are people who don't raise beef cows as pets and then slaughter them anyway, you have not, you haven't lived. That's a real thing.
That's 4-H 101. Crying kids
place.
every year.
Yep, exactly. So,
right next to the bacon pigs.
Yeah, beef cows and the bacon pigs and the brain hermitar. If that's what you're into, if you need that delicacy, well, we got it. VUD, great acronym.
I'm still hung up on like I no one goes to a pet store to buy their cow pet that they're later then going to slaughter for hamburger. It's bought as livestock and they emotionally bond with it. It's different, and I don't like this.
I'm not saying this as a joke. Where I come from, you can just buy like chickens at the mall, and people will like raise them until it's slaughter.
We all know you order them online.
Delivered
frozen.
Just like hermit crabs, you get two in fifth grade.
You get 2 chickens and 2 hermit crabs.
Wait, is it 5th grade or 7th grade? This is important.
It changes every time.
He did say he got it wrong when he said 7th grade. I'll go to the Matt on that one.
Thank you. I'm gonna have to like text my parents. I feel like it was 5th grade, but I'm gonna text my parents right now.
I hope this didn't happen at all. And
it was just a fever dream.
Dude, no, trust me. The smell of hermit crabs in your bedroom as a child, you remember that forever.
Remember when Matt was in the hospital for 3 straight weeks in 5th grade due to that terrible bike accident?
Matt, wake up. You've been in a coma this whole time. You're still in 5th grade.
He ate a bunch of shellfish and then did sweet jumps and then he was put in the hospital.
Wow.
Okay, well, as Matt texts his parents, let's move on to Kyle.
Yeah, Andrew. So we aren't going to have to worry about like closing these sales. We've got an ad put together. We're going to run during all the primetime slots, during all the football games. These babies are going to sell themselves after we run this ad. Let me give you a taste of it here. Some monster sounds.
That song by the Arctic Monkeys is definitely playing. Yeah. It's that one.
That thing.
Yep. If you're looking for a monster with the power and muscle to get the job done, head over to the Shut Up Todd Pet Store and get yourself the fully electric 2025 Guardian Folger Enginanth. God damn it, I can't say that name. Now, don't let fully electric make you think this is a electric vehicle. It's fully electric because it will literally electrocute you to death. No, this baby runs on pure 100% unfiltered wyvern milk.
What?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, brother.
wyvern milk. The only fuel source somehow less good for the environment than fossil fuels. Shut Up Todd Pet Store logo.
Yeah. 5 minutes ago, you came at me for an octopus that's on fire and how that would be difficult to deal with. You just said yours will electrocute you.
Yeah.
It will, in fact. Okay.
Yeah, you sold yours as a way to heat your home for comfort for family. I'm selling the electrocution aspect of it as a test of your masculinity.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I get it.
If you're not man enough to handle getting electrocuted by your monster that you just bought, are you really a man?
No, that's
Good point.
fair. I must have missed that because I was putting on my Affliction t-shirt, but I'm super into what you said.
Good.
I hate it here.
Did your parents text you back yet?
Not yet, no.
Sitting on the cuck chair drinking my wyvern milk. Cool.
I could not find I didn't look too hard. I could not find a good answer as to what wyvern milk is.
I can tell you what it is if you really want to know.
It's
don't need
milk
to.
of a wyvern, right?
It's not. It's spoilers
not?
for Monster. No, spoilers for Monster Hunter Wilds. It's basically unobtainium.
It's the liquid distillation of capitalism.
It's the liquid distillation of capital. It's whatever Tony Stark builds the arc reactor from.
Okay.
Whatever. It's just like oh, this is like ever flowing infinite energy.
So
And
unobtainium was accurate.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's liquid unobtainium.
Okay.
Cool. Well, as we've learned from Pokemon and the complete history of the known world, people love a good blood sport. Now, as it turns out, humanity may have actually been the monster this whole time. But that doesn't matter because we need events to keep people interested and coming back again and again. And what better way to do that than to have our terrifying monsters fight each other for our own customers' amusement? So, tell me how your headlining monster will take down the other two in an all-out, no-holds-cage match.
So I've brought a fire-type Pokemon. Obviously, the Black Flame is going to have a problem with Matt's water-type Pokemon. I can recognize this. I see that in the deep research I've done. Kyle's also has a weakness to water, so we are both at a disadvantage. It said that in the wiki.
Oh, I thought you were doing a Pokemon reference.
No, I was doing we're talking about Monster Hunter, not Pokemon. So
Fulgur Anjanath is electric-based. Normal Anjanath is fire-based.
the wiki said it had a weakness to fire or to water.
I also
stand by
saw
what I said.
weak to water, but main
fair
weakness
enough.
is ice.
Look at me being wrong all day.
Yeah, don't check it. Matt can text his parents; they could let us know. So when it comes to dealing with specifically Matt's gigantic hermit crab, just to level set, octopuses eat crabs all the time. Period. Full stop. Okay, that science is settled, so we're good there. The good news is we've already established that New Udra is the smartest being to ever exist ever, and will be ready with a backup plan always. This goes both for Hermitar and Anjanath. But even with a water coating like Hermitar, all New Udra needs to do is get its oily arms wrapped around its prey, even just like for a second, because that's a thing that it does. And that's just going to be the end of this fight. Once another monster is covered in tentacles and Udra oil, all New Udra needs to do is just light things up. Just do a little pyro action. And smothering another creature in fully generated bio napalm is about all that would be necessary to remove them completely out of that battle. For Matt specifically, no amount of Dawn dish soap is going to remove that sticky smothering crude oil. It's done. Same with Kyle's. works cited in the notes. There is a burning hellfire of 1,000 suns that comes from my octopus son, and he will destroy anything that he wants to. Side note, if that answer is not good enough, this is not canonical, but I do think a really good strategy would be flaming octopus cartwheels. Be that as it may, that would be my alternative answer to this question. just the doot 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 music while an octopus just does cartwheels while spouting flaming napalm.
I mean, yeah,
I watched a lot of videos of this thing fighting. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a really good monster.
And you have to fight it in like a flaming, like an oil field.
Yeah.
Like, it's certainly like out of the bit. Why the fuck are you going to fight this thing? Why would you want to do that? It just looks terrible.
It's like, its whole thing is like, it's the wyvern milk powers the fire, that the furnace that it's like eating off of. So
wyvern
like
milk.
Yeah. Monster Hunter Wilds is a weird game. Anyway, Matt.
Yeah, Todd did most of my argument for me. Look, I brought a crab and he brought a fiery octopus. Well, I got water, and Kyle brought a lightning dragon, and that's not great. I am weak to lightning damage according to monsterhunter.wiki.com. But a couple of things that are cool about the Hermitar. Thing one, they dig a lot. You know what the thing to do is if you get caught on fire? You stop, you drop, you roll. And honestly, digging pretty much does the same thing if you've ever been on fire, which I haven't been. So if...
So you just made that up, is what I'm hearing.
They tell you in kindergarten.
Digging and rolling, effectively the same thing if you've been on
like
fire. I've never been on fire, so I wouldn't know, but...
Also, like, pretty common to smother fire in sand, but that's fine, too.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Dig in the sand. So,
different digging.
Okay, Hermitar, not concerned about whatever fiery, flaming things New Udra is bringing to the table. Now, as for this big old lightning dragon, I'm not going to lie, that's not great for us. But luckily, we have a couple of things going our way, the biggest of which is the element of intimidation, because we will wear the skulls of our enemies to these battles. That is what the Hermitar do. As they get bigger, just like the hermit crabs we all got in 5th grade, they got to get bigger shells. And what do they use for those bigger shells? They use the skulls of monsters like Monoblos and Black Diablos. So we're going to roll up ass backwards, ass first, thank you very much, with the skull of our enemy and use it to intimidate the Thunder Dragon. And we're going to let Todd and his grimy, sweaty octopus take care of the Thunder Dragon while Hermitar is dug in the dirt, hanging out underground, letting up little puffs of sand like them Hermitar do. And then once the Folger Alginath, which I do believe is the best part of waking up,
I was going to say that was my favorite book I read in 7th grade, Flowers for Anjanath.
That was good too. We're going to pop up out of the sand and we're going to use our cool little water jets, because that's Hermitar have a water jet, and we're going to spit at New Udra really hard, and then we will decapitate one of them and clean off its skull and wear it as the skull of our enemy.
Metal. Kyle.
New Udra metal. Andrew, I don't know if you could tell from my fellow co-hosts' answers, but clearly the Folger Anjanath is the monster to beat here. They both had pretty easy responses for the other two, but not for my lightning boy. It's an electric T-Rex. I don't know what to tell you. It's going to be rad. We already established that Matt's water type is just going to get cooked by the electricity here. And Andrew, do you know what happens to an octopus when it gets struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else.
I was going to say, is that a rhetorical question?
No, that's an X-Men 1999 reference.
It sure is.
Good.
Yeah, it's an electric T-Rex. I'm not too worried about the crab, especially. Maybe one of those 8 arms from that octopus might do a little damage, but our boy will get there. He's a big, scary dragon. What is more important, Andrew, is that at these cage matches, the Folger Anjanath has opened a new door for an extra line of profits, and that is in merchandising. You said it yourself. The Anjanath makes a train whistle sound before it attacks. That's why when we hold these cage matches between our monsters, we're going to sell train whistles to kids so they can signal to the Fulgur Anjanath when they want it to do one of its signature moves, all of which involve shooting lightning at something. So we've got an additional revenue stream and a way to just get the crowd hype, get the crowd on the Anjanath's side so it can bring the pain to these other two clowns.
Amazing.
What, Todd?
It's basically battle bots, but kids with train whistles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. That was the prompt.
Yeah, I get it.
Awesome. Well, I personally can't wait to see this blood sport and to see which one of this rock, paper, scissors match will end. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to come back to our super secret bonus question, which is, what's a cutesy tagline or full-ass promotion you're going to run to get kids to convince their parents to bring home one of your monsters? And we will answer that question in just a bit. Welcome back. Once more, that super secret bonus question that we're going to get to right now is, what's the cutesy tagline or promotion you're going to run to get kids to convince their parents to bring home one of your monsters? And as always, from today, we'll start with Todd.
Yeah, so this is definitely a big poster or a billboard done with like chibi style art. And it says, it's like the first picture is of a hermit crab. And it says, Hermitar will give you 2 pinches. And then there's a lightning T-Rex. Anjanath may give you 3 electric shocks, but then there's a big octopus and it says, Banu Udra will give you 10 tickles.
Boo.
I don't like that.
No,
I don't like that.
That's rough.
10 tickles.
Boo.
Matt,
do you guys hear that booing? That's weird.
Yeah, that's
weird.
crazy.
They're
I heard that too.
They're booing a billboard.
I thought that
It's
was
so
just in my
strange.
head. Yeah, we've been workshopping a few things over on our end, and the first one we landed on, we were pretty happy with. We were going to run a big promotion, a week-long sale on Hermitar. We were going to call it Happy Hermitar Days. And we felt pretty good about that. But we chatted with legal, and they are concerned that that might get us into some trouble with other companies already hosting days that are happy. So we did a little research and we pivoted and we've combined a few things that we know are really popular about crabs and internet culture, because like I said, everybody had hermit crabs that are our age. At least we've established that here in this world today. Don't ask questions. We're afraid that the kids aren't as familiar with hermit crabs, so we're trying to adjust our language to what the kids are saying. And we're going to have a big event. It's our big day to buy Hermitar, and we're going to call it Crab Rave Goon. Crab Rave Goon.
Sure.
We have heard that kids love crabs and raves, and we've also heard that gooning is a good thing.
No.
So we're going to go with Crab Rave Goon.
Matt, I knew you were going to go down the crab rave path, and I just have to say, 2019 called it once it's meme back.
I'm having a hard time knowing that Matt just said the sentence, kids are
Gooning is
gooning,
good.
and that's a good thing. That is.
On our podcast that's going to go out to the public.
That's not what I said. That's what you said.
That's what I heard. That's what the people are going to hear,
That's
Matt.
what the people heard.
Hey, at least good thing we don't have an FBI anymore, because Matt otherwise would be put on the watch list.
The wiki's already lit up with this.
Yeah. Kyle, say something that won't put you on a watch list.
Yeah, Andrew. So we already did some testing, and we've kind of figured out that the Fulgur Anjanath doesn't market well with cutesy and to kids. So that's why we're gonna go with the 90s radical extreme route.
good.
And make this thing just the coolest thing the kids have ever seen. We're going to Photoshop those stupid sunglasses on it. We're going to put it on a skateboard with the caption, "Get Anjanasty." We will sell millions.
fuck, that's really good.
Drop that image in
Yeah.
the notes.
There it is.
Oh, that's good.
Whoa.
As soon as you said you're gonna make it rad or whatever, I was like, T-Rex on a skateboard. Can I find it?
We just need those 8-bit sunglasses photoshopped on it,
Yep.
and you nailed my vision, Todd.
I have to get free another Photoshop demo here. All right. Awesome. Well, I myself unilaterally exclusively have a lot of thinking to do, and I'm not going to converse with anyone else about it. So whilst I do that, before I do that, give me your closing statements, and then I will do that, and then you'll do good vibes. But first, do closing statements.
Yeah, we get this. We've been doing the podcast for 8 years.
Just for a few years.
I got 2 things to say here. So one, the 2020 movie, My Octopus Teacher, for anyone who watched it, made me realize that octopuses are these beautiful, intelligent creatures. To accept anything else as a pet, no, as a friend, when there is a flaming octopus the size of a 2-story house, is honestly heinous. Like, why would you not just go with that? The other thing that I want to say to you specifically, Andrew, since you're making this decision, remember in 5th grade when your teacher brought 100 octopuses to pass out to each child, but they gave 2 to each child so that they wouldn't get lonely?
Yeah, man.
How about that again, but they're giant and on fire all the time?
What a good memory.
Andrew, look, hermit crabs are easy. Everybody's had one. Maybe school gave you 2. I don't know. What I'm saying is a hermitar is a classic pet. Something that everybody can love. Something with a lot of utility. Something with a lot of variety. And most importantly, something that's a delicacy. It's the brains. People eat the brains.
Yeah, people with brains.
With their hand.
It's easy, Andrew. Why has the Ford F-150 been the best-selling vehicle of the last 20 years? Because it makes you feel
It can
powerful,
electrocute you.
makes you feel good. And that's exactly why America is going to buy millions and millions of electric T-Rexes, because it's going to make them feel good. It's going to make them feel powerful.
Well, who could argue with that?
It's like busted.
Yeah. Because it makes you feel good.
Makes you feel
Yeah,
good.
You got there. Thanks.
Yeah. Great. Something, a segue. Do good vibes.
Yeah, Matt, as the only other host on this episode that did have a hermit crab, I think, I get it. I
there
get
we
it. Like, we had hermit crabs. We
Get 'em from
soaked
school?
sponges in water so that they could get their hydration from the wet sponge in their tank, and they smelled terrible. It's a Nexus event that we all went through. Only mine was in 2nd grade. I think the hermitar is rad. So I watched videos of both of yours fighting. Gigantic hermit crab that pops out of the ground and like swipes at him and then shows up. It's rad. It's a good choice. It's super cool. And honestly, knowing that there's so many monsters from Monster Hunter that are like dragon but different, or giant cat but different, it's cool to see hermit crab. Hermit crab is very cool. Kyle, I already said at the top, Anjanath did like a body slam on this giant cat thing and electrocuted it while it held it in its mouth and then spiked it on the ground. And if that isn't the second most rad thing only behind skateboarding, then I don't know what makes people not want the electric T-Rex. Like, that's a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Todd, similar to what you said, every time I look at Monster Hunter monsters, I'm like, oh, cool, Rathalos. Oh, different Rathalos. Look, a new Rathalos. Wow, that's a Rathalos. Like,
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. Rathalos is rad as hell, but there is something about Monster Hunter that feels like it's just dragons and T-Rexes. And so I like your goopy octopus. I think that's fun. That's a cool pull. I like that a lot. My pet exudes fossil fuels forever is utilitous, and I can't argue with that. Also, every time we do this podcast, I get this like little burst of confidence because I know that my mom listens to every one of these episodes, and I just know that she's always going to root for me. But then you brought up My Octopus Teacher, which I think is my mom's favorite movie of the last 10 years. So I've lost her on this one.
What is this?
Oh, we'll
Octopus
talk about it in the
teacher?
post-show.
We'll talk about it in the post
post
show. It is an absolutely heart-wrenching nature doc on Netflix.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a documentary about how smart octopuses are and how we're probably terrible.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Kyle. Hell yeah, dude. Electric raptor, electric T-Rex. That rules. Absolutely, that rules. I love the Ford F-150 angle. I think that's really fun. You know, it's the number one selling. It's like the Ford F-150 is the Nintendo Wii of cars, or at least that's how I've come to believe it.
Until this year, the Toyota RAV4 toppled the F-150 this year.
Wow.
I want to be clear. When we give our compliments to you, Kyle, we're doing them in such a way that we're giving you a bro hug, like the handshake and then the single arm hug. We're like, hell yeah, Lightning T-Rex, my guy. Like,
I felt it. Through the call. Yeah. Yeah, Todd, I really like how you somehow managed to pick the most sentient thing to sell as a pet again. It was really good. Flaming octopus is incredible, and the only reason I didn't beat you to it is because I didn't see it when I was looking. That's awesome. Matt, we have not commented on, you brought the only thing that like is a variation of something they sell at every pet store in the country.
Yeah.
And that's a really good answer, and I love that. I'm sorry none of us had the shared experience you did of getting 2 free hermit crabs from your middle school, but I do like that your answer was like a legitimate thing you could get at a pet store, but Monster Hunter. So good job.
Thanks, man.
I have returned from whatever I was doing, and I have some good vibes of my own to share because this was really fun. And I think all 3 of you brought really good answers. These are all 3 monsters that I like a lot. Obviously, I can only pick one, but I'm going to go through each one and say why I liked it as an answer. Todd, you first. You picked the flaming octopus, which is my absolute favorite of the new monsters in Monster Hunter Wilds. It is a flaming octopus, and that's all that you need to really know about it. That was really fun. It was a really fun answer to hear, to get the, it's got fossil fuels in it, can heat your house, even though that's a nightmare of a situation. Matt, good pick on Damio Hermitar. He's like considered to be one of the like starter monsters. Like he teaches you the game. So it's really fun to think of like one of those like going up against Anjanath and Nuudra, which are like more like advanced ones,
late
like
game monsters.
Yeah, later game, intermediate later game. But I think you did a really good job of showing how it could hold its own. And then Kyle, we brought Electric T-Rex, which is just so much vibes. But so here's the deal, guys. We needed something that's splashy. We need something that's going to really not just get parents excited, not just get families excited, but specifically get kids excited so their parents spend the money, and they spend the money quick and fast. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, yeah, Electric T-Rex could get people in the door. Flaming Octopus could get people in the door. But the one thing America likes beyond blood sport and commerce is an underdog story.
Yes!
America loves a good underdog, and I can't pass up big stupid hermit crabs. So Matt,
best day ever.
Damio Hermitar is gonna take it as our featured monster at Shut Up Todd Pet Store.
Honestly, I'm stoked. Free Damio Hermitars to every 5th grader. 2027.
Your teacher will be bringing in a large sack of 100 Damio Hermitars. Yep.
There will be 100 sacks of the skulls of your enemies. Grab 2, please. Thanks everyone. Don't get lonely. Thanks everyone for listening to Debate This. You can follow along with the arguments on Instagram and YouTube at Debate This Cast, or on our website at debatethiscast.com. And hey, if you want to support us more, you can check out the Patreon at patreon.com/debatethiscast, where for the low price of $5 a month, you can get access to our monthly Patreon exclusive show called Deconstructed, where we break down a new Disney Channel original movie each month. And you'll also get immediate access to all backlogged episodes of our D&D podcast, The Office Drones. So ton of free content for the low price of $5 a month. Until next time, I am Andrew Henderson.
I'm Todd. Optise, Rubber Geese, Green Meese, Basil Geese, Thomas.
Good.
I'm Matt. Send new Udras, Cole.
And I'm Kyle. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Noodras. Harper.
And we're saying thanks for debating with us. And if you think we're wrong, you can come fight us behind the swing sets, nerds.